Hi, this is Deborah Davis with TechTalk.com. This is another video snippet, and today we're talking about a free web tool called Kuler from Adobe. Now, if you haven't read about Kuler in our recent Tech Talk article, to find that article, just log in to tech-talk.com, and you can easily use the archives and type in Kuler, K-U-L-E-R, and it'll come up in the search device. Here's the article written about Kuler Color Creations by Adobe. Let's take a look. Now, if you're a graphic artist or work with graphic programs, you may be familiar with this tool as it incorporates with Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. But if you're a novice and you're just starting out playing around with color, check it out at adobe.com/products/Kuler. We're going to take just a little look today at some of the highlights, things you can do with Kuler. It's a free web tool. First, we'll explore some color themes. We'll create a theme from a color of our own. We'll take a look at how we can engage with the Kuler community, and we'll create a theme just from an image that we upload from our computer. Very cool. To get to the Kuler web tool, just go to Kuler, Kuler.adobe.com, and it'll bring you to this home page. I think every time I log in, there's a different color palette showing, because it really varies depending on what the Kuler community has been loading. When you first log in, over here to the left, you have the choice to look at different themes, maybe by the newest, most popular, highest rated, random, or you can simply put in a keyword search to find a different color palette. We could look at this color palette. It's called Firestone. By just clicking on it, it gives us some details of who the author is, when it was created, and down below some different comments from other Kuler community people. If we wanted to look at this color palette and actually use some of the colors in our own color creation, all we have to do is click on this little box here, and it'll bring up a screen and tell us the exact color codes for this palette. For example, if we wanted to use this red color, if we scroll down a little bit, we see the RGB, CMYK, hex value. Depending on what tool you're using will depend on which color code you need. If we're simply creating this color, for example, in a Word document, the RGB color code is what we would need. So for this red color, it's 151:16:18. So here we have an open Word document, and if I wanted to make this, it's just a text box using that color fill, I just go to my More Color Fills under Custom and put in the RGB colors. We're 151:16:18. And here we have that exact color that we wanted to use from that color palette. Now going back to Kuler, if we wanted to create our own color palette, we can do that a number of ways. We can choose one of these colors and maybe change it on the color wheel here to find a color shade that we want to start with. Maybe I want to do something in the blues. I can set this as my base. Then, using the rules up above, I can pick what type of rule to apply. Analogous shows me the adjacent hues. Monochromatic gives me a different set with varied intensity, lightness in a single hue. Triad is an even different offering. It's based on the color wheel with contrasting theme colors. Complementary are colors that are simply based on two hues in the color wheel. Compound gives a more variety of colors, very interesting in multiple hues, or different shades of the same base color. Looks like a paint swatch from a paint store, doesn't it? So it's very easy to create your own custom color by just typing in or just selecting a color and using the color wheel to vary the different intensities and shades. If this is the color palette that I want to use and I want to save for future use, because I'm signed in, I've created my own username and password, this box comes up. The original name was called Firestone, so I'm just going to rename it to shades of blue. The original creator of the palette put in different color tags, but I can create my own. I might want to say blues, water, ocean, different words that are going to help me when I want to find this color palette. And just simply click Save. Another way to create colors is from an image. If I just click Create from an image, I can load an image from my desktop, or if I have a Flickr account, I can choose a color from that image storage space. Let's go ahead and upload a picture from my desktop, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I'm going to pick this picture called Renew, and you can see it's a man with his outstretched arms. He's in a field of bright colors. So Kuler is so smart, it went ahead and picked up a variety of colors. And see the dots here on my screen? If I move them at all, it changes the color palette below. Maybe I want some white in there. Maybe I want less yellow and more green, although I think I like the yellow. And if I want to create a color palette based on this picture, I can also select the mood. Right now it's set to colorful. I might want to up the color and brightness a bit and choose bright. Or if I want to mute it down, I'll choose the muted colors. Go a little deeper in the shades with deep, or darker with dark. Oh, don't like that so much, it's not as bright. I think I'm going to go with colorful because this picture I chose for the colorful, the bright colors in it. So I'm going to name this color palette so I can get to it later, and I'm just going to call it Man in Field of Flowers, and I think I'll put some tag words in: flowers, yellow, sky, and man with outstretched arms. That'll help me remember this picture in the future. So now I can click on Save, and it's saving my color palette. I do have the choice of making it public to share with others or just private. Now you'll see I have a variety of different color palettes in my profile under D. Davis. You can engage with a Kuler community once you've created your My Kuler account. So for instance, if I had other people communicating with me, they can leave me comments here. Or I can communicate with other Kuler members by just clicking on Profiles and the author name, and the community feature gives us a comment box. See, for this author right down here, they've got two comments on this color palette. So I can add my comments and engage with the whole Kuler community. So all you have to do really is start at kuler.adobe.com, create your free username and password, and start creating your color palettes.